Welcome back to the MK10 YouTube channel, where today we're going to continue with our F1 driver career mode on F1 2023. You will see that we are in Saudi Arabia. Moving on to our qualifying lap here, we're just doing a flying lap. Before we even get into this flying lap though, please smash the subscribe button, ring the bell to be notified whenever a new video goes live, and leave a comment down below what other games you'd like me to cover. This track is not my best track, and plus as well I'm still trying to get used to the new handling model. So with all of that combined, you'll see very wonky lines. Very wonky lines. We get a semi-smooth sequence through turn 1 and 2. Speeding down to this corner here, where we could have been a lot smoother. You see, we have put a qualifying time all down already, because what I'm doing a short qualifying. So with that, I get multiple laps in. So I've already done one qualifying lap. I've qualified 8th. Well, that's where I am at the moment. We are going faster at the moment, like up by half a second. So we're making good time. About this part here, I completely botched my lineup. I didn't stay close to the right hand wall and then move over to the left as much as I could. So I botched up my line there. I'm just trying to get comfortable in the car, comfortable on this track. There's a lot more places where I have to either be a bit more responsive on the throttle or brake a lot more than I would have in previous games. So I'm just quickly trying to make my way through the field. And as you see, it wasn't too bad, but there were places where I could have picked up more time. And with that, we do jump straight into the very first lap of the race. We get stonking start. Like, our reaction time off the start is top notch. We're trying to get past Max, but he's trying to pull us away, like squeeze us. It doesn't work. We were able to squeeze, put our elbows out, squeeze past. But as you see here, we have the worst line ever here, and then we get caught on the curb, and I have to concede 2 places just to try and get back onto the racing line. So I'd rather lose 2 places and get back on the racing line than to be off the racing line and possibly lose a lot more places than I would have anyway. And plus, them 2 drivers that got past, I was not going to be battling with. Let's be realistic here. I really shouldn't be this high up on the grid. Yes, I have a Ferrari engine. This circuit is really suited to our engine and how our aerodynamics are at the moment. As you see, Sainz gets past us very easily. Our target this year, as I said, is to get consistent points. That's all we need, get consistent points, and I'll be happy. I'll go really late on the brakes and end up hitting the back of Sainz. Luckily, we don't get a penalty for it, which is the Lord. But as you see, we're trying to get back at Sainz, but I'm not confident on the brakes into the first corner, because I don't want to run off and completely screw up my turn 2 line. So I back off, keep off, and then once again, we're through the sequence because how poor my strength is around this circuit, and especially through the sequence. We do end up losing sight of Sainz, and Gasly and Hamilton now on the back of us. We're trying to just make sure we stay ahead of at least 8th place, because that's where eventually where we want to finish, is around 7th and 8th. As I say, consistent points is what we're aiming for at the moment. Thank God DRS is not open just yet, because Gasly would have been all over us. Probably most likely would have overtook us. But as you see, they are very close behind us. Right? We literally, you see it a lot this series, especially in season 1 of my team, is we have our elbows out, creating a fucking train behind us. As you see here, I do brake really early into this corner, but that does allow me to get onto the gas a lot quicker. But sometimes that is not the best compromise at all. And we leave it here for lap 3. Rejoin at the beginning of lap 4, where unfortunately I've made a bit of space to Gasly Hamilton, but then I completely fuck up my line and smash my front wing. And with no front wing, I literally am coasting through these first couple of corners. Luckily, after these first couple of corners, I can kind of put my foot down and be a bit more cautious through some of the longer sweeping corners. As you see here, I am changing my strategy, just double checking what tyres I have or set up for next. Luckily, I was going to be going on to the hard tyres anyway, so I'm not compromising my strategy too much. I'm just coming in 6 or so laps earlier, but the hards would last that long anyway, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Very, very poor corner there, but Gasly, I don't know where the fuck he was going. He goes straight into the side of us. And to be fair, if you took that a bit slower, he would have got past. We were still on the racing line, so it wasn't like we was blocking or anything like that. We still going at race pace, but we go straight into the pits, and I believe because of that hit that Gasly does on us, he is also in the pits with us, and also it's his teammate. His teammate comes in. We had a couple of cars that looks like they've decided not to come in as well. They was looking to come in, but there's too many cars in the pits. You don't want to pit when there's too many cars, because, well, you lose too much time in the pit lane behind either a car or waiting to be released behind another car. We're able to keep our position in front of Gasly and Ocon. Obviously, they are on faster tyre than us. They are on the mediums, where we're on the hards. I could have put softs on, but they were never going to last until the end of the race, so decided to make the right move and move on to the hards. You see here, we jumped into lap 8, where we have Gasly, who's right on the back of us here. We're trying to gain on our teammate, and then Gasly is trying to overtake us. So I decided, well, let's let him pass. Like, put up a little bit of that, but let him pass and try and use Gasly to drag us along. You see here, we are making some positions up as there's multiple people in the pits. And as I said before, you can tell I am very cautious into turn 1, because there's multiple times where we're going to turn 1 and either I am ahead, but because of how early I brake, the other driver is able to pull back alongside me, so I have to make sure I take action there. And I don't know what it is with me and that inside corner, but I kiss it so many times during this race, like multiple times I kiss it with the front tyre. But with my teammate holding up Gasly as well, I'm able to take a slightly alternative line through this corner and just slowly edge myself in front of him. We get very close to our teammate, and we accidentally bump the wall as we're trying to just let our teammate know, like, move bitch, I pay you wage, move. And using DRS, trying to get past them again on the outside, on the inside, which was not the wisest decision, to be fair. Gasly and Hamilton are busy behind us. Hamilton's catching up to this pack, and Gasly's slightly losing the pace behind us. I'm able to lose my DRS and slipstream of my teammate to get ahead of him. Obviously I did not have DRS down this straight, so I just have to use quite a few of my reserve battery to keep ahead. Because my teammate hasn't pitted yet, it's perfect. He's able to hold up some of the people behind us. But as I said, he's holding them up, making sure they don't get too close to me. But well, I don't want them too close to me. I want to make sure I make a gap. And with that gap, it just makes my life a bit easier. Make sure I can just focus on the drive and make sure I'm consistent. Get used to these hard tires because they're not into proper working condition just yet. They're just off. They're not far off. He's able to hold Gasly behind him for, say, like half a lap, which is good enough. I do get a 2-second gap to him. Obviously, I know Gasly's going to be completely munched that 2-second gap up quickly. As you see here, we jump to lap 13. Our teammates are pitted. He's gone onto his designated pit strategy. Tsunoda's right behind us in that AlphaTauri, and Bottas is just behind him. So we have a little train here. Tsunoda using DRS to get past us. A very clean overtake, to be fair. And we're just trying to get back at him, trying to catch him back up. But we have a little train here. It's us, Tsunoda, Bottas, Gasly, and I believe that is Oscar Piastri. Maybe wrong, maybe it might be Norris, but I don't think it's Norris. But as I was saying, that you see a very clean overtake between us and Tsunoda, and to be honest with you, that is what happens for most of the race. And swapping positions with people. As another example of me being too cautious into this corner, and I can see this place to him. To be fair, he does get alongside me enough where I do have to be cautious and make sure not to go into him, because he did win the corner. And I go too deep into that corner because I'm not used to following a car so close through there and getting a slipstream. So he does get a very, very good pull on us. And oh yeah, I was right, it was Oscar. And now we're fighting Bottas and Piastri and trying to battle them and keep not that far behind Tsunoda, because we do want to catch up. We want to be finishing on 7th and 8th, like I'm saying, so for them consistent points. So we jump here to near the end, like midway through the lap of 15. Tsunoda, he's made a sizable gap on us where we have lost DRS on him. We could use some ARS to catch up to him, but now we're just mainly using ARS to stay in the bottom end of the points. Bottas gets a very clean overtake on us using the slipstream. We're able to keep our nose just alongside him to make sure, like, yeah, you know we're here, dickhead. Get a very clean overtake on him and just use our battery where Oscar is also battling with him, so it's alright. As you see here, Charles has gone off. I think it was engine problems for him, so he's gone off at the right there. So he's not on the track, so that's not too bad. Hate when the cars are either crashed on the track or stopped just in front of you and you have no time to react. And we jump right here to the end of the race, and you see we were able to keep Bottas and Oscar behind us. They eventually got overtaken by Norris and Alonso respectively, and we do end up coming in 7th, which is a great result for us. And with that, please hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and I see you all back down at the range.